starting now. So first, thanks everybody for being here. I'm so excited. This is going to be a motivating others team meeting. This one's going to be pretty lighthearted to just kind of say why you're here, what the goals are, and what we're planning on doing. So we're going to kind of have a little bit of fun doing this meeting. I sent out an agenda. I know how busy everyone gets, but in the event that you didn't have a chance to check it out, here it is. Just kind of give an overview of what we'll be doing. I'll give a meeting overview. Just, basically tell you all why we're here. And so I'll start with that now. We're basically here to do whatever we can to support Kaho in his endeavors to be an international speaker, which I'm extremely excited about. We'll move on from there to do a team building exercise, and this agenda was put in the chat. So if you need something to reference back to, that'll be great. I'll spend some time going over our objectives and goals and the project planning. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A to where if there's anything that anybody wants to ask, you can ask at that time, and then we'll close out the meeting. Please mark your calendars to know that your next meeting will be on November the 7th at the same time, 9 p.m. Hong Kong time. Now that time will change for Bruce and I, because instead of us being here at 8 a.m., we'll be here at 7 a.m. And instead of Vixen being here at 9 a.m., she'll be here at 8 a.m. And so US people, take note. Everybody else, don't worry about it. Just stay at the time that you're going to be doing.
Would it be too early on your side, Patty?
Oh, I'll make it work. I'll make it work. It's Bruce, not too early for Bruce, too early for me. But hey, it's worth the call. Cindy is sending a message. Let me see what she's saying. She says she's signing in, but her connection is bad. So if someone will just send her a message in the group chat and let her know that we've started, and just to come in when she can, then that way we'll just keep going.
I will.
Thank you, Bruce. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is a team building exercise. I mean, I know everybody loves team building, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this story is going to be called, if y'all can turn on your camera, that would be great, because I would love to get some of these expressions on this recording. This team building exercise is going to be called Once Upon a Time. And I don't know about you guys, but we've all had little stories about once upon a time. Once upon a time, Little Red Riding Hood did this. Or once upon a time, Cinderella did this. Well, we're going to create our own Once Upon a Time. And we're going to build on it. So I'm going to start the Once Upon a Time series. And when you see your name come up, you're just going to start and add on to wherever I left off at. And then the next person, and so on and so forth. Hopefully it'll be comical by the end. I'm not a very comical person. That's why I'm starting this off, because I knew I was going to need a little help. Bruce would be like, what is she doing if I did it by myself? So I will keep going now. Once upon a time, a lion and a cheetah had a race. This is what happened. You cheater. And for those who are slow like me, cheater. Yeah. No, you lion. What? You're lying?
Yeah. Okay.
So from that day forward, the cheetah and the lion never got along. They were always at odds with each other until
the lion got caught cheating with another cheater.
Oh.
And then
the cheater had a problem because he met another cheater. So now you got a meter cheater.
Oh my goodness gracious. Those little animals are something else. Kaho.
And well, sorry guys, how do you play this game?
There are no rules.
Just make up something.
Oh, okay. Until the lion met up with another lion that was also a lion.
Oh,
and now he's not sure if he's telling the truth or not.
Love it. I love it. But then at the end, what happened, Carmen? How did they make amends?
The lion and cheetah decided to just start all over again and to have a fresh race. And seems that the lion is still no match for the cheetah's speed.
Good, good, good.
I love it. Okay, that was pretty good. And so, Cindy, I don't know how long you were on because I was sharing my screen. Did you catch any of the Once Upon a Time series?
You muted.
I caught what Kaho and Carbon said, but I didn't get it.
You can see the recording coming out on a big screen near you.
Okay.
Yes, so I did do a recording of the series. And so basically in short, Cindy, what we were doing was what was called a team building exercise, just to kind of make everybody get lighthearted about being here. So we're not so tense, we're not so stressed. And we did a Once Upon a Time series. And so if you ever went through a Once Upon a Time message, it would be once upon a time this happened, but they give you the whole story. Well, I started the story and then everybody built on the story that I started.
Okay.
And so, yes, it was pretty funny. I enjoyed it. I think that you guys enjoyed it as well. And so that was a good thing. So we're going to keep going. I had basically told everyone that I sent out an agenda. I posted what the agenda would be. And so hopefully y'all have had a chance to look at it at this point. So we already opened up the meeting. We had our team building exercise and so our objectives and our goals. Basically, that is what I sent to you all in the beginning to, basically say why we're here. And I'll just put it back on the screen. I'm not going to read it, but it basically says that we're here to support Kaho to make it to the next level. So I'll give you all a couple of minutes to just kind of read over it.
Reading now.
And so we were able to get some volunteers. I'm very thankful. Hagen agreed to volunteer and got called in at work at the last minute. So I will be sharing this video with him just so that he can know what his role is going to be in our endeavors.
You're muted, Bruce.
He's got to finish the story. He's got to put
Right, exactly.
He's got to put the ending end on it.
So I'm going to move on to the project planning and how this is going to work and how all of you guys are going to help us to make this work for the benefit of Kaho. And Kaho, before I start, I'm hoping you're excited about this new endeavor that you're taking on. I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a little bit challenging, but I think you're up for the challenge. What do you think?
First of all, I want to say how much I appreciate that everyone's taking the time to really support and help me as we go through this journey together. And I'm honestly very excited for this challenge. I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm definitely up for it. I feel like this would be a good challenge, and I feel very lucky to have a support group like you guys to kind of guide me along this journey. So I'm very looking forward to it.
Well, thank you. And that's the attitude I want you to have. So I'm excited about that. So here's the project plan, and I'm going to put it up on the screen now and share it. Each week that we come, someone will be taking on a bit of a challenge in which to help on Kaho, or kind of sort of like an assignment. I understand that everyone may not be able to be here every Monday, and that's fine. If that person can't be here, like Hagen's not going to be able to be here today, then we'll just move on to the next person until everyone gets a chance to help out Kaho. But, I think it would be beneficial for everyone because there may be others who want to compete at the international level. I know Cindy had expressed a desire to do that. And so this will be helpful to her as well as Vixen and Carmen and Bruce and anyone else who wants to take on this challenge. So project plan, assist member Kaho with achieving as an international speaker. We'll be meeting every Monday at 8 a.m. 9 p.m. for Hong Kong members, starting today. Now, I put a projected date of December the 19th, but if we're able to get through this before then we're not going to stretch it out. We just want to make sure that all of these tools are given to Kaho to help him out. We will always meet by Zoom conferencing. That link should be the same every time, so you have to, run around and search for it. I needed to give you guys kind of like what the benefits of this meeting is. And so I'll be reviewing the international judging ballot, building confidence in the speaker. You all can read the rest of the list, as I hate to just read when there's something there for you to look at. If you see your name by something that you feel like you're not adequate to handle that particular role, please let me know and we'll do a little change around. But I assigned you those positions because I feel like each one of you all are really good in that specific area. This is for Kaho that I put at the end. Well, we'll all critique his speech. But for the international speech, like I said, the next meeting will be November the 9th. Now, when I say the next meeting, I'm talking about the next regular Toastmasters meeting. And so, Kaho, I'll need you to have your international speech done by then. You don't need to have it like perfected or anything of that nature, but you at least need to have it drafted out and rehearse it and time yourself. Because when you come to the meeting, you give your international speech and we have to time you. That's one of the rules. If you, for whatever reason, go over the time, then you can't move forward in the international. So whatever you do, just, even if your speech isn't just 100% perfect in your mind, just watch that time really closely so you don't go over, because we've already nominated you and said that you could go forward, and we definitely want to see that happen. Once you go past the club level, which technically speaking, you've already done, you will compete at the area contest, which is designated for January the 8th or the 15th. Natalie will get back with us on a more specific date in the future. It's my understanding that the division test, meaning the contest, will be February, I think it's the 23rd. If any of those dates change or anything happens, you'll be the first to know. The district, as far as I know, have not decided on a date for the district contest, but have provided that you win the club and the area and the division and the district, you'll get to go to the regionals. So that will be your opportunity to then be on that big stage. The speech that you give now will be the same speech you give all the way through the semifinals. The reason that they do that is they want you to build upon that speech, not necessarily change it, but if there's something that you give and we as evaluators come back and say, hey, Kaho, maybe you should use this prop instead of this prop, maybe you should put this one at the beginning and this at the end. You'll take all those tools to where when you go to the semifinals, you are ready to slam dunk that speech. When you give your final speech, at that point, you will have to change it completely. That's when a lot of people get a little bit like, oh my gosh, it's like I've done so well and I've got all this help along the way, and now I have to do it all by myself. Well, just know that we'll all be here supporting you all the way through, so you're never going to have to per se do it by yourself. So before I go any further, are there any questions from anyone? I see there are some things in the chat, so I'll look at the chat. Oh, okay, congratulations to Haho and what she said.
So Patty, sorry, can I ask, does that mean Kaho needs to decide the topic of what he's going to deliver at the international, at the contest at a very early stage?
He needs to decide on the speech title for the club contest, and that title can stay the same throughout. I don't think there's any rules to say that the title cannot change, but the content of the speech cannot change. But when he does the final speech, if he goes to, I've forgotten where our international convention is going to be at this year, they will publish it, usually closer to August of next year. At that point, then his speech will be different and his speech title will be different.
So that means Kaho will need to decide at a very early stage then.
Yes, pretty much so. And that's where you're going to come in at. You're going to help him. You're going to be one-on-one with him to help guide him on some speech topics and even some speech titles. Because a lot of times speakers kind of know what they want to do. They have an idea of how they want to motivate people or how they want to make people break down and cry. I hate to say that, or, get emotional, but they're stuck on what can I use as a catchy topic or what can I use as a catchy title? And a title means everything. I sent him 2 speeches from our world-class championship speakers, just so that he could see how their title completely tied into the message that they were trying to send. So, I don't want to be talking about cheetahs and lions in my topic and I start talking about cats at the beginning. It's going to be like, okay, so where does the cat fit into this thing, even though cheetah can kind of be a big cat. But, nevertheless, you kind of want to make sure that it all works together. So that's one of the things you'll be helping him with.
Right, so need to see whether Kaho has already got something in his mind.
Yes, now's a good time to discuss that. Kaho, do you have something in your mind that you're maybe wanting to do?
At the moment, I will need maybe a day more to think about it, because I'm not quite sure what topic to present yet, but I will definitely have something planned out in 1 or 2 days. For sure.
Oh, sounds like a plan. Thank you so much. I will be putting that note that I just shared with you guys in the chat. I don't want to put so much message in the chat because sometimes it just becomes overwhelming. People have so many chats they have to read for work, and they have chats for Toastmasters, and after a while it just blows up. So I really want us to handle the meat of whatever we're going to handle here in the meetings, and then just keep that chat as just, maybe as a tool for, hey, I can't make it, or if you have any questions that come up after the meeting that you just totally forgot to ask, you can ask about that. But I don't want it to turn into something where there's like 50 messages in the chat. I just think it'll be better that way. That's my opinion. Unless anyone else has anything different, I'm always open for suggestions. I just think the last thing any of us need is one more chat to check. So what I'll do now is, anytime you're going to do an international speech, you need to be able to have the international judges ballot. And, honestly, I don't know that it's in the contest books that says that you have to share this with the contestants, but I think it's very good if you would, because I don't feel like you can adequately be judged on something or adequately perform when you don't know what the judges are looking for. So I'm going to go over this, and this is for any time you compete in a contest, not just international. If it's humorous, tall tales, table topics, evaluation. And then that's another reason to always look at your rule book, because this is the kind of questions that you can kind of ask if you don't know or someone hasn't presented it to you. So Kaho, this is extremely important for you because you're going to go forward. You will need to pretty much know this like the back of your hand, so you'll know what you're being judged on. So it basically says content, content 30, delivering 30, and language 20. They kind of have it all run together. But the total goal is that the total score is going to be 100 points. So 20 of those points are going to go towards speech development, 15 toward effectiveness, 15 towards speech value, and so on and so forth. And when the judges vote for you, say if you just gave the speech, I will look at your structure, your organization, and your support material, and say you're the first speaker under that number 1. I would maybe say you're let's just say a 18. And then on good, I'm going to judge you between a 9 and 13. So let's say you're, a 10. And then, or you're fair, 0 through 8, I may mark you as a 6. And so then at the very bottom, I'm going to calculate or tabulate how many points I gave you toward speech development, effectiveness, speech value, physical, voice, and manner, things of that nature. So just keep all those things in mind. Let's see if I don't know if y'all can hear my FaceTime thingy going off. My daughter's trying to call me. Okay, let me see if I can get over here too. Find her. Okay, so we'll just turn that off for a second because I can't move it over so I can decline her. Okay, so I apologize for that. So do you have any questions on the
So far,
ballot, Kaho?
Yes, I think it's looks pretty straightforward so far. I'll definitely review it, because do you have this PDF set over on the WhatsApp group?
No,
already?
but I will send it to you.
Okay, yeah. Once you do, I'll take a deeper look at it, and if I have any more questions, can I just directly ask you, Patty?
Yes, you can just send me a private message and we can discuss it.
Okay,
And
thank
same
you.
with you and Carmen, where y'all are working on the speech topic and title, you all can just communicate, between each other. At the end of that judge's ballot, you'll see where if you place, it says first place is received 3 points, second place received 2 points, and third place received 1 point. So this had to be done a little bit different for the online one that we had. Poor Bruce, bless his heart, he made it work, but it's a little bit more challenging because when you're in person, the judges basically go and they tabulate everything and they come up with a final score, and they put that final score, and then they just tear off the bottom part and they turn just the bottom part in to the ballot counter, and then they go back and they tabulate it. So the counters do not see how the judges rated each one. That's specifically for their eyes. they rate that person, and then they just give those final scores written to the ballot counters, and that's when they go back and they count the ballots. Cindy, you have any questions, Miss Cindy?
No, not as of right now. I don't have any
Okay,
questions.
okay, no problem.
Don't mind if I just do a little bit of sharing. I'm not sure whether it might be of help,
Oh,
because I think last year I attended the club contest of another club. I was invited to be a judge, and I was quite impressed by the winner of that contest, who delivered a speech by sharing some memories of her with her grandmother. And so the speech was about, well, the grandmother will always prepare lots of, say, a good food or dumplings or etc. when she was small, and so the whole speech was quite, I think, sentimental, but quite touching. So I think it might be a good idea for Carol to consider, if you haven't decided what to say. Maybe include some of your, say, the personal experience, or share with us, say, with so maybe family members, maybe a good idea. So that's just some thoughts for you to consider.
that's very good, Carmen. I think Bruce had his hand up also.
Yes, Kaho, I would agree strong-heartedly. I have not done well in the international speech arena. I did make it to the finalists and won the evaluation contest, but I have some notes that I took yesterday while we were driving a couple of hours in the area. I will send those to you, but I agree with Carmen. Whatever you can do, let me rephrase that. There are things you can do to draw. Well, you can't see my hands. There are things you can do to draw in the audience, and as Carmen mentioned, family is one, emotion, certain words. If I had known this way back when, I would have probably done better. But she's exactly right. You have to really pull in your audience and say, "Oh, I understand what he's going through. I've done that. I've been through that, or I haven't done that. I don't want to go through that." But my notes here says that the international speeches are typically very personal to draw in the audience. And I'll stop so I won't ramble. But I do have some notes for you. I'll send to you later.
Thank
No,
you.
you're fine. Thank you, Carmen and Bruce. Very, very well said. You do definitely want to draw the audience in. And on this one speech where the lady became she was in the semifinalist, so she was a runner-up to be the world championship speaker. She basically talked about from the inside out, and she talked about how when she met her husband, and how basically she looked at what he looked like on the outside, but she wasn't very enthused with what the outside looked like, but she was never concerned about that. She was only concerned about the heart. And so she kind of drew you in, talking about all these wonderful things about how her husband got together, how long they stayed together. But then the speech took a drastic turn when she said that her stepdaughter had married a guy. They had been together for like 12 years and had kids. And all of a sudden he decided that he wanted to be transgender. And so basically she was saying all of those words about only worry about what's on the inside and so on and so forth kind of quickly went away when now she had to figure out how she was going to handle the situation of her son-in-law wanting to be a woman now. So it would be two women being married instead of a man. And so, it was very well crafted, the way that because she kind of had you drawn in by how we should view things and then how she actually ended up viewing that situation. There's one guy that did a world championship speaking, and he literally started his speech with just holding up a rose. And I'll send you that one. And he built his speech on that rose. And so, you do have to really be thoughtful and put some things into it, particularly if you present things that are kind of a personal message, your audience is going to feel the emotional impact of what that meant to you. So very good, Carmen and Bruce, to give him that tip.
Yeah, hope Carol might be of some help.
Yes. And now you're welcome. We're about 3 minutes before closing. And so this is time for Q&A. So before we go on for our next week's meeting, is there anyone that have any questions that we haven't already addressed at this time? And that's not just Kaho, that's for anyone, anything that anybody maybe didn't understand, or it's kind of like, what are we supposed to be doing, etc.
So in that list you gave of the uh, assignments, for lack of a better word, are those going to be like a week apart, or is it going to just kind of vary based on each person's length? I mean, can I kind of guesstimate when mine will be due, or
If you want yours to be due next week, you can do it next week.
oh, I don't necessarily need to change the order. I'm just trying
Oh
to
no, but that's what I'm saying. I didn't put it in. Is that Trinity there? All I can see is maybe the top of her head. Oh
look
my
at
gosh,
her.
Trinity there. Long time no see.
She want M&Ms and Granny
Oh,
won't give it to her, so she
we're
got that
gonna let you
sour milk
have
on
them
her
very
face.
soon. If grandma
Yeah,
says it's okay.
yeah, a little early for M&Ms.
Right.
Give it an hour.
I drafted the list not so much to be in any specific order. I
Okay.
want everyone to take that list and come up with what they're going to present that's going to help Kaho. And then
Okay.
based on which meetings you're able to meet. So say like,
Okay.
you're not
Okay.
able to make next week, then we can easily move on to Carmen and Cindy because
Okay.
they would have already prepared their information
Okay.
ahead of time.
Okay. I follow.
And as far as the time length goes, we just want to keep it within that 30 minutes, maybe 15. So we'll always have time for a Q&A at the end or to have any other discussions. What?
Me speak 15 minutes?
Yes, of course.
Oh my goodness.
Because
Carmen, that's like
you're gonna be
Car-
dealing with props and you're gonna be dealing with time management. So I think those are two heavy topics.
Carmen, that's like pulling teeth. Me speaking for 15 minutes?
15 minutes?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Trust me, there'll be plenty of time in between if you only come up with 8 for us to discuss things, because by that time, Kaho's going to have drafted his speech. He'll have something for us to review and look at and critique. And so we'll have plenty of time to do other things. But we want to make sure that the tips that we give is as meaningful and helpful as it can be. And I'm so glad his sister's on board with us and she joined this team. That's so super cool. Biggest supporter. So,
Trinity
Yes.
has a question.
Thank you.
what do you
Ask
have a question? Go ahead, mommy. What do you have, Miss Trinity?
What y'all gonna be for Halloween?
Gotta speak loud.
What y'all gonna be for Halloween?
What are you all gonna be for Halloween?
Oh, honey, I'm just gonna be myself. I think I'm funny enough the way I look.
No.
Yeah,
So sweet. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and close out this meeting. I think that we're off to a really good start. I will send the video as soon as it's downloaded. I'll put it in the chat box so Hagen can see it, and Cindy, you can catch the first part of our Once Upon a Time, and I'll see what team building exercise I can come up with for next time. And the agenda that I've drafted was just something to kind of help us follow along. So if there's something that you guys see you want me to add, maybe it's a subject topic that I didn't mention, please feel free to get with me so that I can have it added to the next agenda. But for now, toodles. You all have a great day, afternoon, evening. Try to get some rest. All right.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Save
Bye,
me some
everyone. Thank you.
M&Ms. Save me some M&Ms.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, Cajo.
Okay.
Thank you.